So Tracy, I'll start by asking you to describe your role with HeartKids.
I'm a support manager. I'm part of a team of support staff that HeartKids employs. We're based at all the major children's hospitals around Australia, and our role is to support children, young people and families affected by childhood heart disease.
Can you explain the importance of your role?
8 babies are born every day in Australia with childhood heart disease. It's the most common birth abnormality. Sadly, it's the leading cause of child death in Australian children. 4 children die every week from childhood heart disease. The majority of our support team have been personally affected by childhood heart disease. Some of us are parents of children with heart problems, and others have heart conditions themselves. This gives us a unique perspective, and we're able to support families because we've been through the journey ourselves.
Yeah, and obviously you're saying that because your daughter, I believe, is a heart kid.
Yes, she is.
How old is she now?
She's 13 years old.
And how old was she when she had her surgery?
She was 2. Luckily, we were able to wait, and she will require more surgery in the future.
Is that what drew you to helping these families? Because you've been in a position where you know how lonely you must feel in that situation?
Absolutely. When my daughter was in the Royal Children's Hospital recovering after surgery, I was astounded how many children were affected. And one story particularly tugged at my heartstrings was a dad across from us. They had twins. Mum was still in Tasmania recovering from a C-section with twin number 2. Dad was in Melbourne with twin 1 who'd had open heart surgery. And watching this poor man trying to juggle looking after his baby, worrying about his wife and his other baby back home, it had a huge impact on me and was a key driver for getting me involved.
As if it wasn't bad enough that you were dealing with the fact that your own child...
Absolutely, my heart went out to someone else.
Exactly, there you go. Can you describe the sort of help you provide to families?
Right, I'm based at the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne. It's the Centre of Excellence for Cardiac Care, and it's also the only paediatric heart transplant unit in Australia. So we don't only see families from Victoria, we see families from all over Australia. So it's bad enough your child having heart surgery when you live in that state, but when you're away from your own support networks, that's when HeartKids steps in. We become a friendly face at the hospital, a shoulder to cry on, and our support's varied. We work with the hospital staff to tailor the support to each family. So for instance, a family from interstate, one parent may have to stay home to keep working or to look after the other children. So we help them with airfares, so the other parent can come over, things like cafe vouchers. If the siblings are there, we might give them tickets to go to the zoo, just so they can still have some normality in their family life. Also, our community families from Northern Territory, Melbourne weather, they're not used to that, so we might give them warm clothing. So
Of course.
Yeah, it's very varied, the support we offer.
And dare I say that you must offer some confidence and some hope for families that life can go on in many, many situations. You can go on to live a very normal life because you're living proof of that with your own child, and having been through it, that I imagine they find great comfort in knowing that you have experience in this world of having to deal as being a parent with a child with heart disease. Absolutely.
You can see this tangible look of relief when you explain that you've been through this journey, you have a child with a heart condition, and they do. They relax straight away. They want to know, how's your child doing? What can they do? What effects it's had on them? So yeah, it's a huge help.
So in many cases, you're involved with the families and the children from the very beginning of their life. And forever, because we do say, once a heart kid, forever a heart kid. It really is their entire journey, isn't it?
Absolutely. We aim to support heart children for life.
If you could look down the barrel of the camera now, or just say to me, but people who are watching this or people who are thinking of supporting HeartKids, if you could talk to them now and say one thing to them, what would it be?
We need your support. There's a huge lack of awareness about childhood heart disease. Even though the statistics are mind-boggling, the wider community do not know about childhood heart disease. We need your support.
And I think many people are surprised, I know most people I speak to are, that there's 64,000 families right now in Australia who have a heart kid and are dealing with all the complexities and hardships that come with that.
Myself, when my daughter was diagnosed, I had no idea. Even going to the hospital, I was astounded how many children were in the cardiac ward.
How alone do you feel? Even though there are doctors there to help, if HeartKids wasn't around, how lonely would the journey be?
Very lonely. You know, you're thrust into this world with, you know, medical terminology you've never heard of. All these specialists, you know, these medicos that, you know, you don't even know who half of them are. They're coming in and out of your child's room. It's like a whole different world. It's like you're living on a different planet. So to have someone there to help you through that journey, explain things, just be a friendly face, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I bet it does. Thank you, Tracy. So there it is, 8 children born in Australia a day with a heart defect, and every week 4 lives lost. As we say, that is 8 children too many. And no family should face this alone. And so that no family has to face this alone, we urgently need your help. We have to raise minimum $700,000 so we can give more support to more families across Australia. To do this, please go to sweetheartday.org.au. So on behalf of these 64,000 HeartKids families, thank you.